Okay, talking about decisions. In daily life, as human beings, also we take certain decisions. So, for example, if it's raining outside, you might decide to take an umbrella with you. Or if you're hungry, you might decide to order some food. Or if you're tired, you might decide to rest, and so on. So, at various points in time, you take various decisions. Similarly, uh, in order to empower the computer to take decisions, we have something called conditions. Just like uh, the weather being rainy, or like you being hungry, or you being tired. So these are something called conditions. So conditions are precisely expressions which evaluate to true or false. So conditions are expressions which are evaluate to true or false. The answer to those conditions is either true or either false. All right. So based on those conditions, you take decisions. For example, if it's not raining, then you might not take the umbrella with you. Uh, you might decide to do nothing at all, or you might decide to do something else. Similarly, uh, uh, so based on these conditions can be either true or false. So the action that you do based on a certain condition being true. So though that is basically called the true branch or the true block, and the action or the statements that uh, you need to execute uh, when the condition is not true or false, that is called the false block. So in order to uh, precisely tell the computer how to take decisions, we use these conditions in something called the if statements. So conditions themselves are just expressions, and they are of no use if we don't take any decision based on those conditions being true or false. So if statements are the building blocks which are basically used to uh, take certain decisions. So precisely if statement consists of two parts. One is that expression or the condition, or you can call it an expression, or precisely something called Boolean expression, named after the person who invented this concept called George Boole. Anyway, so Boolean expression or a condition, this is also called a test. So, and the second part of if statements consist of the block, which consists of the set of statements. So let's look at an example of how we can use if statements. So for this, let's look at an example. This is the problem, a simple dice game in which we roll dice, and if the face value is 6, the player wins. And let's just keep it simple. If the face value is 6, the player wins. Okay, so let's see how can we design the algorithm. Designing an algorithm consists of lots of steps, as we already know. So let's just do an intelligent copy paste, and visualization you can always do it on rough, and just to understand the problem. In fact, I have this. If you go on Google and search roll a dice, just type in roll a die, so it will open you this. So you can roll the dice and it will give you random values like this. So let's, for example, first time it's now 6, now it gives you 3, then 1, and so on. So every time it gives you a random value, just like a fair die. So this is about understanding the problem of visualization. You can do this on a rough paper, or just visually you're understanding what actually rolling a die means. So in this case, so let's look at the problem again. The problem is the face value. So this is the face value, the value which you can see on the dice, on the top of the dice. That's called face value. So for example, the dice is rolled, and the value is 6. The face value is 6, 3, sorry, 3, 1, 2, 3. So in this scenario, in this case, the player does not win. Anyways, let's roll it again. Now the face value is 1. So again, the player does not win. So 6. So this time the value is 6. So this time the player wins. All right. So or let's rephrase the problem, since it would be an incomplete problem. Player loses. Okay. If the face value is 6, player wins, otherwise the player loses. So you can do a rough work something like this. If the face value is 1, player loses. If the face value is 2, player loses again, and so on. Alright. And then if the face value is 6, the player wins. So this is some rough work that you might do. Alright, the next step is identifying the outputs. So what would be the outputs for this problem? The outputs would be the two conditions: either player wins or loses. Alright, player wins or loses. These are the outputs. What would be the inputs? So inputs are those things which actually start the process, without which this process cannot start. So this process of rolling a die, this needs some value, and that value is the input. And in our case, the face value would be the input. So input would be the face value of the dice. Alright. So let's write down the basic idea. Basic idea, you will simply state that input the face value of the dice from the user, and then in simple English you write if the face value is equal to 6, and also in numeric, then the player wins, otherwise the player loses. That's it. Then you can add a statement, print the result, because we already know that the algorithm should follow the input process output paradigm. Just hold on.